We'll go over and take a look at it here on the monitor. We'll show you what we have.
Stay on that, Chief.
This is a rescue attempt in the back of the building. This is the first one we went on this morning. This is in the rear of the building. A man was trapped under in his first floor apartment. That's the second floor kitchen there that the firefighters are working on. There's, as the Battalion Chief DeFeo said, and there we just lost our video, there is
kind of symbolic of what we've all been through this morning. Some much worse than
holding
others,
on
obviously.
to what is truly dear.
And
well,
we're looking back there where at that apartment house that collapsed. Perhaps 70 units just smashed. 2 floors coming down on top of them that Linda Moore was telling us about.
And then that home in the hills above Studio City that collapsed, and then on either side both of the homes were fine, and then the heroics of young one man by the name of Andy who was talking to his neighbor so that she wouldn't be frightened until the paramedics and rescuers could come and extricate her from the debris.
This obviously just a firestorm here in this mobile home park. You see the burned out cars there. Nothing left, just cinders left of trees.
And people miraculously escaping this.
Heard on the Santa Susana Fault. They're calling it the Santa Susana Fault, just west of San Fernando. They say it was just south of the epicenter of the 1971 San Fernando quake, which had a magnitude of 6.5. They are calling the one today a 6.6. He says that the Santa Susana is what they're calling a thrust fault, in which 2 plates are converging and crunching up on one another. You have been watching pictures, of course, of the freeways there that have crumbled. We want to go back to KABC at this time for their live coverage, and then as soon as we can, we will throw it to President Clinton in Washington. Yes.
You too?
Yes.
Okay, some of the ladies who lived in that first floor apartment, fortunate to be out of there alive or without injury. One lady. All right, we're told that they almost have this person out. We'll stay with this for a few more minutes here. We're told that this person, all right, I'm told that they had his legs out. We're going to get up here and see what if we can get a better vantage point. This person is alive. There were 5 people who were killed. All right, now they're going to get some airbags in here to lift up the debris off the person. I can see his feet, yes. I can see his feet. And he is talking to the firefighters. And they're calling in for more airbags. They lift up this debris and provide a little space to get this individual out, this man out. We don't know how old he is or his name, obviously, but we do know he is alive, and that definitely is good news. There is at least one other person the fire department is working on right now to free. That person's trapped in an apartment to the rear of this building. And we're going to move over here a little bit to the left. What will the airbag do now? Maybe you could tell us about that.
What they're trying to do is attempt to lift up the building off of the patient. As soon as they do that, right now what they're trying to do, I think, is try to pull the bed apart that he's laying on so they can lower him down and pull him out.
What will be the first thing that paramedics will do then?
First thing that we're going to do is try to stabilize our patient and also try to get some lines into him, try to establish what's wrong with him, do a head-to-toe on him, figure out what his injuries are. Then what somebody will do is find out what hospital we're going to, and we'll be transporting him to that hospital.
Okay, we have any idea? Do you have any idea how old this person might be? Or
Not right now at this time.
Okay, that's one of the paramedics. Paramedic crews for the Los Angeles City Fire Department. They're waiting for this individual, this man, to be freed. They're trying to lift the building up, as you heard him say, the airbags and jacks. They've got some jacks in there now. They're trying to lift this building up, give them enough space to bring the man out. Chief, anything new on this fella?
No, they're still trying to work on him. He's really packed in there, and we're using what we call our air rescue bags right now to try and raise the side of the building.
What kind of a process is that going to be?
Well, you can see what it's taking right now. It's personnel, and it eats up a lot of resources at a scene like this here, but we do have this one, and we are finding reports of more traffic in the building. We're trying to get more resources on the scene. As we're recalling, we're getting more people here.
Now, you say you're hearing more reports of people trapped. Any idea how many?
Again, we probably got another 3 or 4, and I know they're extracting them back here now, so we have quite a few crews working.
Bob DeFeo, Battalion Chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department. Now they're bringing in a saw, which they'll attempt to cut this beam with. I think you can see that the firefighters, you can see the man's feet, the victim's feet. They're trying to get that building up off of him. As you heard Chief DeFeo say, 2, 3 other people being rescued at this time. The fire department is bringing in additional personnel to deal with that. As you can see here, it takes quite a few firefighters to free a single individual. There is a lot of work to do. It's very precise work. They don't want this building to slip and fall any more on this man than it is already. Again, the airbags will be brought in and the jacks, and they'll get him up. So I think at this point, we've got a ways. All right, I got to pull some cable here. Okay, all right. All right, we're going to back out of here. Okay. It's going to be a while before they get those airbags in here and they free this individual, but we'll come back as soon as they get close to that. Again, 5 people are confirmed dead here in this apartment complex. A 3-story building collapsing on itself. There are now 2 stories. The second story is sitting on top of the first. It is a terrible, terrible scene. Again, 5 people confirmed dead. I'm Joe McMahon reporting live from Northridge. Back to you in Hollywood.
Joe, thank you very much. We are watching probably the most intense scene in the Los Angeles area this morning. We have fatalities confirmed in other places, but there at 9500 Reseda, it is the most intense. Harold Green has just joined me here in the studio, and things were shaking pretty well at your house this morning, Harold.
Yes, I lived through the Sylmar earthquake, February 9th, 1971, 5:59 in the morning, and this one obviously very much stronger, but the scenes are similar. Once again, out in the Sylmar area, Tricia Tagasuki is at Cal State Northridge. We'll get to her in just a second, but we are looking at a similar damage pattern that erupted in 1971. Same thing we had happen this morning at 4:30. But this is the largest earthquake in the history of Los Angeles, 6.6 in the Los Angeles basis. In the city limits, the largest one. Driving in, the freeways, for the most part, are clear. A lot of people remain outside of their homes right now, out talking, checking on one another. Not a bad idea. On a personal note, I went across the street. I live over near the North Hollywood area, knocked on a neighbor's door repeatedly, did not get a response, started to leave, banged on the door one more time, heard the woman call out, kicked open her door, went inside, and everything had fallen on her. She had chosen to sleep on the couch last night. It's never too late to check around your home, check with a neighbor. If you don't see the neighbors, give a knock on the door, and you will perform a public service, because after all, that's what we're trying to do right here, is perform a public service and share this kind of information with you.
She was okay, your neighbor?
She was okay.
She took you out from under the stuff?
We got her up and okay, and she is a thankful person. But she was alone, and she had been there for over an hour by herself, and was pretty near panic when I finally got in there. So keep that in mind. And now, Tricia Tagasuki.
We're going out to Tricia. We've already seen some incredible damage at Cal State Northridge. Bring us up to date now, Tricia.
Harold and Anna, we're on the other end of the campus right now, and there have been several buildings here on the CSUN campus that has sustained damage. If you can look behind me, that is one of the science buildings there. Just a few minutes ago, it was up in flames. They have several hazmat teams out here because there are, as you can imagine, a number of chemicals in that building, and right now in the air you can smell some of the chemicals that are burning. They were able to put that fire out. I think we have some tape where we can show you where those flames were burning. As I said, there are a number of different buildings here on campus that have... Earlier we showed you that parking structure, that 4-story parking structure that had literally just crumbled. This particular building here, firefighters were quick to arrive.